Hello, fellow writers, and happy November. If you're wondering about this interesting opening here, it is because I am going to have to film this entire thing in one take. So please bear with me. I have made some notes to try and keep myself on track, but I won't be able to edit anything out. So please, again, just bear with me. If you saw my most recent video, which was all the way back in August or end of July even, maybe, I can't remember, then you may kind of already be aware of the situation. If not, I'm going to recap very quickly. Before that, let me just let you know that this video is definitely a happy video. I am well, my husband is well, our kids are well, we're all safe, we're all doing really well. There's a wonderful thunderstorm going on outside. It's not cold yet because it's Texas, but you know what? We're gonna stay happy anyways. So, further recap, in July, the beginning of July, my husband was in what should have been a fatal work truck accident at highway speeds. It was devastating. He, as I mentioned, is actually fine. Well, relatively. He did have to go to the hospital, multiple surgeries, and for a long time was on 24/7 care from me. So we had all the trauma with that. We had, ICU stay, and then when we brought him home, as I mentioned, 24/7 care. It was quite intensive. And I was kind of in charge of that, plus still taking care of 4 kids. So as I mentioned in that last video, no writing happened in July. But at the end of July, toward the beginning of August, I started getting this feeling of, I need to be writing. I need my stories right now, which I don't know if any of you are like this, but for me, writing can be stressful, but it can also be my therapy. And there was just this desire in my heart to keep working on my stories and to have this something else that had nothing to do with the wreck. It had nothing to do with insurance or hospitals or anything like that. It was something completely separate and in a way completely private. Our almost entire family, pretty much our entire family, was involved in this whole wreck business because multiple other family members were in the car, and not in a bad way, just we live in a small town, so everybody knows everything. So and there was all this rush to do all these things. So it felt like there were constantly people in our house, like all the time there were people in our house. It felt like there was never any privacy. So having this story to just be mine, something that I could have by myself and just kind of not have anyone else's input on really, other than the writing community. And even that, it was like a separate community from family or doctors or, professionals or whatever. It was a separate community. So I decided to go ahead and pursue that, and I did, and God blessed it. And over the month of August, I actually did very well getting back into writing, getting back into school with the kids. Actually, it was very sad. At the end of August, I filmed a cute, cozy little library writing session video. Then I went to edit it, and because I got a new phone on which to take videos, for some unknown reason, my computer editing software, like my video editing software, doesn't recognize these videos anymore. Hence me sitting down and just doing one take. I have no idea why. It's the same file type. I've changed cameras and phones and things multiple times over the past however many years I've had this particular computer and this particular editing software, and I have never had an issue with this. So I have no idea what's going on with that. But until I either figure it out myself or get someone to help me figure it out, I just had to kind of take a little break. And I'm actually very grateful that I did, because it forced me to sit back and kind of reconsider the balance of platforms that I was using at the time. If you remember from my May vlog, I started in on a writing publishing marketing course at the beginning of July. I actually had done some work before the wreck, so I had already kind of dipped my toes in and was really enjoying it. And part of that course is teaching you how to really garner a readership and build a following via social media. And I had to sit back a second and think, okay, I'm having to take all of this mental energy and focus on marketing myself, my stories, my writing on this other platform. YouTube takes a lot of time. When I do film a video and edit it, it takes a while, and I have to think about content, I have to think about what I'm doing. And for the last couple of years, I've kind of gotten away with just filming vlogs, with just filming some inspiration, and it hasn't gone poorly. I've gained some new subscribers here and there, and I've had some wonderful, wonderful, encouraging comments. Thank you for those of you who have left comments for me, encouraging me and sharing your own inspiration and stories. But it's not as if YouTube is making any money, which I don't really care about. But for something to be taking up this much of my time and I'm not getting any readers from it and I'm not getting any money from it in a situation where my time is more limited than ever, it wasn't really making sense to spend time on that. Right then it didn't. So I went into September thinking, okay, I'm just going to take a little break from YouTube and from worrying about it, and I'll get back to it when I get back to it, which ended up working out beautifully because I'm just sorry. Again, I can't edit this out. My apologies. August and September were relatively high productivity months. I was still experiencing some stresses as far as time management, but in August, I managed to put together a 4,500 word series outline for taking my young adult fairy tale retelling book and turning it into a mini series of, shorter books, which I love. I love that I'm doing that. But I realized I needed to figure it out. I needed to figure out this series before I sat down to write book one. So I came up with the outline, shared it with my critique group that I'm a part of, got some amazing feedback, which is wonderful because let me just tell you, books 2 and 3, I still have no clue what I'm doing. We'll get there when we get there. And then in the month of September, I went in and did a deep dive on book 1 and outlined with all this new material. And then I went back through after the external events and I tweaked it to make sure I was including all of the emotional arc that this character is going to be going through. And it was beautiful and it was wonderful. And then at the end of September, beginning of October, my body decided to tell me in no uncertain terms that it was very done being constantly stressed out. So I spiraled into adrenal fatigue, and just when my momentum was finally building back up again, I kind of had to just push pause and coast for a bit, which was, as you can imagine, intensely frustrating because I had been enjoying, feeling like I was slowly, baby steps, building up stamina and building up our routine again and finally getting back to normal. And then my body was just like, nope, you have been through enough. We need to take a break. So I took the month of October. I still got in some writing, but honestly, not very much at all. I was hoping to write the entire first act in October, and I kind of sort of did. But I mean, the book, I'm only estimating that the book is going to be between 40 to 45,000. That's kind of what I had wanted it to be, and I think Halloween, the 31st, was the day that I think did my biggest writing session, and I got it up to, I want to say like 8,000 words, and it was like pretty much done at that point. The first act, mostly. I think I had a chapter left, and it wasn't very much writing for an entire month. For me, that's just not normal. Even pregnant, for me, that's just not normal, and it was just very discouraging. But again, during this time, I was really looking over the balance between my writing time, my school with the kids, because we homeschool, and trying to make sure that I was, dealing with the PT and OT who were constantly in and out of our house while we were doing home PT. It was an interesting time, and I am starting to feel better. I've been to some people to help me kind of get my adrenals figured out, and I've gotten the supplements and the different things so that my body can reset, and I'm feeling so much better. And now I'm feeling even more excited for this book because I have started a challenge. Many of you probably are already aware of the scandal, debacle, whatever we want to call it, that has happened to NaNoWriMo this year. And I will confess, I was already on the fence about NaNoWriMo as an organization and contributing to them based off of some allegations that had come out last year, I think, or the year before, about some inappropriate things happening in their young adult or young writers program and some mediators. None of it was ever they didn't have any official physical proof. So I never was able to say, well, I have to step out because of this, because you couldn't prove it. It did make me a little uneasy that was there at all, though. And then this year, the whole AI thing blew up, which I'm not going to go into. Just to say that there was a very unnecessarily aggressive stance on AI and a very accusatory tone toward people who might disagree with them on that stance. And it is a highly controversial topic anyway. Like anywhere that I go, it's almost a 50-50 split. So it was a little bit much for me. And then I started seeing authors popping up all over AuthorTube and Instagram and everywhere else saying, nope, this is ridiculous. We're going to officially step away from this organization for now, which made me feel very validated and very like, oh, okay, it wasn't just me. So I have decided just not to do NaNoWriMo this year, which, I mean, 50,000 words in a month, I wasn't going to be able to do that anyway. But then I got excited because I found out that several other authors were putting on alternative, kind of cozy fall writing challenges, and I decided to do one of them. Now, I would love to have done Kate Kavanaugh's 100,000 words over 3 months challenge, but obviously I'm a month late for that, and I think that's a little bit much for me to try to do right now, where I am mentally and emotionally with writing. But I have decided to do Sarah Cannon's rough draft challenge for the month of November, which I already am enjoying the setup of hers better than NaNoWriMo. I think that she's had the benefit of having done Nano for so many years and of having been a part of the community for so many years that she can see maybe these are some things that could be improved and done differently. So she has the option on hers where you can pick the different tiers of how many thousand words you want to do, or if you want to put it in as like editing chapters or whatever. She has a whole thing. You should go check out. I will link her video down in the description box of this video, as well as probably one of the videos explaining the whole NaNoWriMo thing so that you can understand what's happening if you weren't aware. But I am doing that, and I'm doing it under, is it the Sapphire tier? I can't remember. That is for 25,000 words, which I think is going to be perfect for me. I think that the site said that it had me at 837 or something words a day to be able to keep that up. And so yesterday was the first day. I wrote 764. It's a little bit under, but that's okay because I have today. Today is a Saturday, and it's gloomy and thundery and all of the things. And we have nothing on the schedule for today. So I'm going to take today and do as much writing as I can. So hopefully that won't, make me too far behind. But as far as my goals for the rest of the year and like where I'm at, like where does all of this put me at? I feel like I'm not that far from the goals that I had kind of sort of set for myself once I got into the course in June. Once I sat down and just looked over, okay, well, what do I want to do? With this mini series now, what do I want to do? I would like to just focus on trying to get to the halfway point of this first book this month. I do believe that is 100% possible with 25,000 words to work with. I would ideally like to go farther, but I'll be happy with halfway. But if I could get there and then I could work on, finishing up book 1 by the end of this year, January or February of next year, I feel like I would begin to slowly get that momentum back. Now, my husband's recovery is pretty much assured. The doctor said that he looks to have a complete and full recovery within 1 year from the accident. So that's, I think, when all of the restrictions will be gone. He'll be able to lift weight normally. He'll be able to do activities normally. And it'll just be a matter of, between now and then, gaining back some of the strength that he lost from being immobile for so long and continuing to let those bones heal and the muscles around them do their things. Just to throw out the numbers of what happened, he had, like I said, multiple surgeries. He broke back, crushed ribs, broke hip, shattered foot, like on opposite sides. So the therapy has been interesting, trying to figure out how to work those things. But all of those are on the mend and they're ready to go. So theoretically, he should be able to go back to work sometime in spring. And for sure and certain, he'll be able to be back work full swing in summer. Which also, please don't be worried about us financially. We've had some amazing people step alongside us and help us. People from all over the world have been giving to his family to help support us during this time. And it's been wonderful. So we are covered, and we are doing things to make sure that, budgeting well, make sure that we're not overspending the money that we've been given. And it's been hugely, we've been so blessed. We've been so blessed to be taken care of so well. So all that to be said, things should be going back to normal soon. It is slow. It's a long process, but little by little, we're getting there. During this time of starting a writing challenge, of kind of letting go of YouTube just for a little bit, which we're going to talk about more in a minute, and cleaning my office. I know you can't tell because this is a disaster zone, but the floor, I can actually see the floor. I have not been able to see the floor, especially in that corner, since we moved, pretty much. I put away things, I cleared away things. There's a handful of toys in here, but other than that, it's back to clean. And I think today I'm actually gonna work on decorating the wall with those things that I've had for it for months and haven't put up. So I have a nice clean office space, and I have started working very specifically on social media marketing, specifically on figuring out how to better and more professionally market myself and my writing as an author. And there are some challenges within the writing course / marketing course that are helping with that. And I'm really working on better stalking good authors with good content on social media so that I can see the things, okay, this post made me pause and made me want to click like. Why? What about this post did I like? What drew me into this post? And watching authors who I watch their content and I'm like, oh wow, this is really making me want to buy their book. What is it about how they're presenting the information that makes me want to buy it? So I've been doing that, and it's been a lot of fun, which shameless plug, my Instagram is in the description box as well. So, just throwing that in there. I have so many things that I want to do on the marketing front. There's so many different things that I've been meaning to do for years that I just haven't gotten around to, that I would love to start doing, that this course will help to teach me to do. Things like actually starting a newsletter. I think I did one when I first created my website, and I had some subscribers to the newsletter, but nobody could find the people that I knew, like personally knew, who had subscribed to the newsletter. They never got it. And it was just like, there was all these things, and I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. And then we moved, and I never got around to getting a post office box, which you kind of have to be able to get a newsletter. And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm done. We're done. And I haven't gotten back to it. And honestly, I've built up a bit of anxiety around newsletter and around trying to, market myself as an author. And I'm working through that. And I have these great hopes and goals of sprucing up my website and of releasing a newsletter sometime the beginning of next year. I'm very excited. There are a lot of good things happening. There's so many good things happening. And I wanted to hop on here and share, first of all, why I haven't made a video since that last one that you saw, not just for family reasons, but for the whole figuring out of editing, which I will figure out. I am determined that this editing program will not best me. But now I guess it is time to talk about YouTube. Let's talk about AuthorTube. I am still finding immense inspiration and motivation from watching AuthorTube channels. I found some new ones in the last few weeks that I love them so much. But the more that I watch also, the more I realize I do not have currently the equipment to keep up with this level of professionalism. Like the videos that I watch and love, they have good cameras, they have microphones, they have good lighting, and we currently don't have the money to spend on that. And any money that I do have, 100% of it is going toward my books, because that's what I'm marketing. And as I mentioned, I'm not gaining a readership here. I'm not really gaining much of anything other than fellow writers that we can encourage each other around, which is huge and important. But how much time can I spend in a medium where I am not really well equipped to do it, right? So like I can set up a nice space, I can present decent content, but if it doesn't look professional, if it doesn't sound professional, if it doesn't scratch that ambient aesthetic itch that we all have now, are people going to click the videos? Are people going to watch the content? It's something that I need to be thinking about. And is it something that I can invest more in the future? I would love to. I would love to get a nice camera and nice lights and really make a go of making this more professional quality content and make it consistent content and just have fun with it. But again, it's a time thing. And right now, time is something that I am more short on than ever. Even taking the time to sit down and do this means that dishes aren't getting washed and that I'm not getting in my writing. And that, I could have taken this time to sit down and make a few more Instagram posts that maybe would have brought me some readers. I don't know. So definitely I'm not giving up on YouTube and AuthorTube, but I think I'm going to just take the rest of this year, which at this point is only 2 months, and really think through the content that I want to be providing, how I could do it in a time efficient manner, and what that would do to the rest of my writing life balance. And not like writing life, but like the things within my life that are writing and how I try to balance all of them. So hang in there if you are a subscriber and you have been enjoying my content. Please don't leave. I'm not leaving. I'm not abandoning. I'm just taking a little brief sabbatical to finish kind of getting my husband on his feet and figure out where we are in that and kind of get my writing back up on its feet and figure out some of how I want to do marketing. And thank you, honey, so much. You want to bring her to me?
I'll make her a bottle.
Thank you. Come here. I know, that's okay. Can you go out, honey? I'll be done in just a minute.
I set a timer for 25 minutes.
Thank you.
I'm cleaning, and then somebody has a turn while I keep cleaning the closet, and then it's my friend Honor, so Kayla will clean.
That sounds perfect. Thank you. Again, this is knowing what I edited out. I apologize. I'll wrap up the video now because it's really all that I had to say. I am here. We are all fine. Writing is happening. If you are looking for more writerly updates and kind of more like writing life inspiration, please feel free to go over and follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of updating there. Well, a lot. I will be doing more this month. You can also, again, check out the links in the description box for the Rough Draft Challenge. I will also, I think, put in Kate Kavanaugh's challenge just so that you know and you're able to kind of see what that is going on. And yeah, I'm excited. Writing is going to be happening this year. Even though all of the crazy has happened, we're going to end the year strong and it's going to be amazing. So that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video and if you want me to continue making content, then please be sure to click the like. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave me a comment to know what your plans are as we kind of end this year, head into the new year. I would love to hear from you. And I will talk to you all later. I'm going to not be able to do my normal outro because I have to sit behind the camera to turn it off. But dear sweet Evie and I will say goodbye. Can you say bye? Say bye. Goodbye.